What's up? Here's how I made the beat for Dance and Rock. So the first thing I did was I took some samples from Splice. I found this really cool piano sample here. Sounds pretty nice. It's a little too high pitched and slow for me, so I'm gonna go and switch that up. Tempo is gonna pull up when it goes in here because I got my tempo set to 90 BPM. So it's gonna speed it up a little bit more, and then I'm gonna take the pitch down -5, and then I'm gonna pan it just a little bit, just so it's not sitting in the middle of the mix, and makes it a little bit more original. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that same exact sample, pull it onto a new track, but I'm not gonna do any pitching to it. I'm just gonna go ahead and reverse it. And that's just gonna fill up some empty space. So here's how that sounds. So just play that same sample backwards. It's kind of cool that you can do that. Ableton makes it really easy. So now that I got the piano set, I'm gonna go add another sample from Splice. There's a sample called Songstar. It's got some cool like vocals and just bass in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop it onto the track, and then to also spread this one out, I'm gonna duplicate it again, but I'm not gonna change either of them. And on each one, I'm gonna pan one of them all the way left and one all the way right, so it just spreads out in your headphones and on the speakers. So 50 left, 50 right, and then I'm gonna take this down -10. And this right here will just take it off beat a little bit so it doesn't line up exactly with the same sample and then it get distorted or anything. So here's how that sounds. Starting to sound a little bit more full here. Everything's starting to kind of come together, but I'm gonna add a few more things to this. There's a really cool Vox sample I found on Splice. Sounds really cool, just pops and makes the melody just stick out a little bit more and just become more catchy, essentially. So I'm gonna add this Genji vocal loop, and I'm gonna take it, split it, because I don't want this stuff at the end. I'm gonna duplicate it and then do a little bit of switching at the end here, and it's gonna sound pretty sick once I'm done with it. So take that, turn the complex on, and then I'm gonna pan it so it moves around the headphones more because it's so prominent, you can hear it really well. So panning is pretty basic. Just gonna take this first one, pull it down 25 left, and then these last ones and pull them up 25 right. So they're going to the right headphone speaker, and then take that, just duplicate that over, and here's what that sounds like. It's a pretty dope little extra flair, and then to top that off, I'm gonna have one more vocal sample over that, just to even add a little bit more. So that's the sound right there. Go ahead, drag and drop that in, and then I'm gonna do just a little bit more to it. I'm gonna take it, cut it, duplicate it over, take these first three and pitch them down, -2. And then take this last one, drag it over, and then pitch these all down or up too. And it kind of makes the sample my own again. And then I'm gonna pan it to the left here, -10. So that'll make it sound pretty cool. So here we go, here's how that sounds. That's a pretty sweet melody right there. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now that I got that out of the way, I'm gonna go into the drums. And the first thing I'm gonna do on my drums is I'm gonna add a snare. And so for the snare, I went and found a snare from a Lex drum kit. It's called like a snare clap. Yeah, the clap just adds a little bit more. Sounds pretty nice, so I'm just gonna drop that in. For this, I didn't do a whole lot. I'm gonna put a little bit of reverb on it. I'm gonna put 31. Well, 32 works. I didn't really do much of a rhythm for this. I just kept it really basic. So here's how that sounds. We gotta make sure my piano's on. Alright. Wait, hold on, let's get the tempo. Metronome going. Here we go. Super basic. Not a whole lot, but like I said before, you know, not every great beat needs a whole lot of work to it. So sometimes simple is better. So take that, quantize it, duplicate it, and then I'm gonna make this clap and snare sound a little bit wider by adding another clap to it. And the clap I'm gonna add is actually a clap from this foreign tech kit I used in the last beat. Clap is this Ozetta clap. See if I can find it. Yeah, a little bit deeper, a little bit wider, has a little bit more going on in it. Load that up and do the same exact thing again. Put some reverb on it. 23 works. And then here we go. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. Super basic, easy. Just duplicate that over. And what I'm going to do to make that clap even sound wider is I'm going to take it, pan it 20 left, and then I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm gonna take it down, duplicate it, put it on another track, and then pan that track 20 right, and then take it down here, -10, and pull up the reverb, 23, and here's how it sounds. It'll just spread the claps out and make it just sound way more prominent and way wider and just sound cooler in the mix. So that sounded pretty good. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go add a little drum loop sample. It has like a snare and a kick and some hats in it, I think, but it basically acts as a hit hat for me, and it sounds kind of nice. It's definitely different than my normal thing, and I'll go add my own kicks, my own 808s in there. So this drum loop is called Luxury Drum Loop, and it's pretty quick, but I'm gonna take it in, I'm gonna do some adjusting to it. Drop it in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go EQ it. I'm gonna take out all the low end, take all that kick out of there, pull this low end up like 1800 hertz, and watch, this will kind of make it sound more like a hit hat than a full drum pattern. So here's how that sounds. Even adds to the snare and clap a little bit. Sounds pretty dope. So a little something there, and then next I'm gonna go add a kick. So for the kick I used actually a kick from a drum loop sample on Splice. So sounds pretty cool, nothing crazy, but what I did is I took it, added it in, and I went in, put some compression on it and EQ'd it a little bit, just made it sound a lot thicker. So it sounds like this, but when I added all that compression and EQ, it's a lot deeper, hits a little bit harder. So here's how it sounds. Here's how I'll do that. Really basic kick, nothing crazy, but I just wanted a beat that was just a simple beat that you can, with a tempo you can just bounce to, and I think this is pretty much accomplishing what I was going for. So take that, quantize it, duplicate it, Add that note back in, and here we go. Starting to sound real nice. Just needs one more thing, and that last thing is an 808. So I'm gonna go add that 808 in. I went and got I don't know what, I think it was a Splice 808. This is how that sounds. Pretty deep. Take that, add that in, and pretty simple 808 sample. So 808 pattern. So here we go. Alright, pretty basic. I think I actually hit the wrong note at one point. Just pull that up. And here's how that sounds when it's finally done. Sounds pretty nice. So that's how I made the beat for Dance&Rock. Got another record coming out this week. Look out for it. Peace.
It gives me life. Drinks going up till we feel the vibe. We gon' dance and rock. I've been trying to catch the vibe since my